Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY Dreaming, and I am super excited to come to you today to show you how incredibly easy it is to take an ornament. It could be any color, any size, as long as it has some detail on it, and turn it into a Jadeite ornament. So these are a couple that I've done. I'm going to take you through the whole process. They're really pretty. I think what makes the difference in this project is what color of paint you use. We're also going to talk about this. So first thing I want to tell you is that this whole idea of doing Jadeite ornaments came through a series of things. First, my friend Susie sent me pictures from Amish country of a beautiful store that had a ton of gorgeous pieces, and I was just drooling over that. And then just a day or two later, I came across My Creative Days, and there was a picture of these gorgeous Jadeite ornaments that this person had made. So I went to her blog, and I will provide that information in the comments so you can go check it out too. So just ask me for blog if you want. Anyway, so My Creative Days is the one who inspired me to do this. And I think what it comes down to specifically is having the right color of green. And this is the color that My Creative Days recommended. I found it at Walmart. It's indoor-outdoor gloss, so it's shiny. Spring green, that's the color. Apple barrel, 97 cents. But it's a great color. So what we're going to be doing ultimately is putting together a Christmas dough ball with some of the things that we're going to make. And then I'm going to talk to you about this. Can you see that up close? This was a glass. It was just a little jar, or a little mason jar thing, or I don't even know what it was for. But I picked it up at Goodwill. I always pick up the things that I see that have these little, I think they're called hobs now, little bits that look like, if they weren't clear, they could be white milk glass. Anyway, so this is where we're headed. And as you are hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle all that good stuff. Okay, so what I did for the big ones is I just went down into my Christmas stash of ornaments from last year or a couple years ago. I don't remember what year I used these, but they're plastic, which is great because they're not going to break. So I grabbed a couple of those, and then I went to Dollar Tree, and they had some packages of these little ornaments that have some grooves or design on them. That is what makes all the difference. If it was just flat, I don't think it's going to necessarily really remind you of Jadeite. Okay, so then you got to figure out how you're going to paint it. And this is how I painted mine, which is probably kind of silly, but you're going to take the top off first of all. It's got something funny going on here. Okay, so just take your top off of your ornament, and then I'm going to put a paintbrush inside of mine so I can hold it. All right, and I'm just working on a little piece of wax paper and a paper plate. Whoops, we'll get to the gold in just a second. And I'm going to just squeeze out a blob. These ornaments take 2 coats. And I suppose if you have a really, bright color ornament that you're making over into Jadeite, it might take more, like if it was bright red or something. So I'm going to hold on to the little kind of edge of my ornament, and I'm I'm just going to start painting on this one side first. The first coat doesn't have to be perfect, so if you miss a few little tiny grooves or whatnot, that's totally okay. I mean, this is almost so simple, I'm embarrassed to show you, but let's do it, because then we're going to talk about building the dough bowl, and I'm going to tell you about making over some glasses. There's all kinds of things that you can make over, like if you have a white cake plate, you could make that over. And I'm going to tell you a few little facts about Jadeite too, because I'm always curious to know this kind of stuff. And I don't personally have any Jadeite pieces, although now I'm wanting to start a collection. I do remember my grandmother Belle had some, and she had a ton of white milk glass too. And she offered it to me and my sister, and we didn't want it. What were we thinking? But we were teenagers at the time. And, you know, what's a teenager going to do with this kind of thing? Okay. So it's basically covered, and it's on a paintbrush. And then I'm just going to stick it in something like this to let it dry. All right, and this one just fell out. These little ones I just put on teeny paintbrushes and painted them. Let me get a wipe for my hands, and then we'll go on. So then the next thing is you can leave the tops the color that they are. These are mostly have the silver plastic tops, or you can paint them. It's up to you. I think my creative days used some rub and buff in gold, which I don't have that product yet, although I hear people talk about it all the time, and I think I do need to get some. So I just looked in my little painting drawer, and I had this gold paint from Target, I think. And I am just going to paint the cap of this gold with a paintbrush. This will work right here. Nope. Yeah, it will. And this will probably take 2 coats as well. And it honestly, it's going to be in an arrangement, so it does not have to be perfect. And it would probably be just fine to leave it silver if you want. I don't know if I've said this lately, but I love it when you guys send me your ideas for crafts, or like Susie sending me that picture of all that jadeite that I had not thought about in forever, you know, and it just started me thinking. So see, I just painted it gold. It just started me thinking, and then the coincidence of seeing my Creative Days post a few days later, I was like, okay, I guess that's what I should be doing. Okay, so what I did, this will take probably at least an hour to dry. Then I'll put another coat on it, and then I will probably give the little top another coat, and I'll put it on, and then we'll add some ribbon because that adds a lot. But this, for example, this is a Goodwill. Just glass. I don't know what these were made for, if they had spaghetti sauce in them or something, but I just love this look, and so whenever I see them at Goodwill, I grab them up. And this one right here is similar. It's smaller. I just painted the outside of it 2 coats, and then I painted inside the lip just a little ways, enough to make it so that so you didn't, you know, see the plain glass. And I think this would be adorable in my kitchen. With some red and white ribbon. And that actually is what my creative days, I wish I knew what her name was. If you know her, tell me. She recommended using red. This is not going to be long enough. So we're just going to tie a knot and then cut it off. The cheeriness of red combined with the look of Jadeite is a good combination. And then I just grabbed a pick that I had in the basement and plopped that in there. And there you go. I wish I had something that had a little bit cheerier red berries, or I may just take those out. Anyways, what do you guys think about that? This was probably 99 cents. Really, the only expense of that, and I have all the ribbon, the only expense of that is the time and, you know, 5 cents worth of paint. Okay, so these are a bunch that I have finished. They were from Dollar Tree, so I have this size. If you guys like this, slam some hearts or do some thumbs or something. Susan says it's amazing. Oh, and I do want to tell you another idea that I did not think about until I was already too far into the process. This paint is a gloss, so it's shiny, but it might look just a little bit better if you hit it before you took it off your paintbrush with some gloss clear spray sealer. You could try it. It would be worth a try. But I think they look pretty darn good, just like they are. And so then I have this little size here too. And I'm just looking for some red ribbon. Let's use some of this teeny little red ribbon. And then we're going to throw it in this dough ball that I have over here. Okay, am I going to be able to get this threaded on? These holes are teeny. What is the paint color? The paint color is called Apple Barrel Indoor Outdoor Spring Green. And if you want to go look at my Creative Days blog, which I'm going to put a link to that in these comments, she talks about the paint there. So she was the one that found the perfect paint color. They do actually make some paints that are described as being the color of Jadeite, but she thought this was the best. So of course that's what I bought. Okay, and in case you don't know this trick, when you're trying to thread a piece of ribbon through a teeny little hole, I'll cut it to a point in one spot, and then I'll thread everything on it, and then I cut it apart and tie a little knot. Or you could put a bow. Okay, let's do these last two, and then we'll talk about my dough bowl. Oh, and I want to tell you the facts. I forgot. These are just a few of the facts. If you know more, tell us in the comments. You could do a different color ribbon if you want. I just think this looks so cheery and happy. And I had a lot of red ribbon on hand, so that's why I went with red. But these just started, you know, their life like this, little plastic ornaments. The little ones are from Dollar Tree. The bigger ones are from my ornament stash in the basement. So they just look like this. All right. So Jadeite was primarily manufactured from the 1920s to the 1960s. In the 1940s and 50s, this is just info I found on the internet, maybe it was Wikipedia, I don't know. It, in the 40s and 50s, it was commonly sold in the hardware department and in 5 and dime stores. And it was also given away, pieces of it were given away in flour bags or cereal boxes. That's probably, my grandmother Belle, my grandfather was, they had a big ranch with some animals and a potato farm. And so I know their money was not easy. So that's probably how she got her collection, was just over time free. And let's see, companies also offered free pieces as an incentive to complete an entire set. Fun fact about Jadeite. Glass makers added the cherry green to their glass formula to brighten people's day during the Great Depression. So that's how that color came about, if the internet is right. Isn't that fun? Tell me if you collect Jadeite. And you know what? I would love to see pictures. Okay, so this round one is going to go right here in the center. Do I have something that I can put in there as a placeholder? Let me look right here. Yeah, I'll put this rattan ball right there. So imagine that this is the other one. And then, oh, and these are just two long picks that I just stuck in my dough bowl. And then I'm just basically going to, whoops, that doesn't have a ribbon on it, sprinkle these throughout. I want to put them where you can see them. Okay, anyways, that's the idea. They look great in combination with pine needles, I think. And I think this is lovely. You could add some pine cones in there. You could add some red Christmas balls, some red ornaments if you wanted. Shoot, you could even paint some of these red if you wanted and throw those in there too. But what do you guys think? This is the easiest craft ever. 2 coats of the spring green gloss, indoor-outdoor gloss from Apple Barrel. That's it. I mean, that couldn't be any easier. And it was exactly the same deal with this little jar. 2 coats of the same paint. I didn't even do anything special to prep it. You could, if it was dirty, you could wash it really good, send it through the dishwasher, and then use some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol on it. But mine was fine. I've used it as a paintbrush jar many times. So mine was in good shape. And then add some red ribbon. So that is it, really. I want to know if you collect Jadeite. I'd love to see pictures. I would love to know if you're going to make this project. And if you are, I definitely want to see pictures because I think it could look completely different based on the style of the ornaments. If you could find some ornaments, for example, that have this, I think it's called hobsnail design on them, and paint them this color. 2 coats. These almost look like the real thing. They really do. Especially from a distance with greenery. Mary says she has jadeite mixing bowls. Yeah, isn't it cute with the red and white gingham? I just went with what I had in red and white. Beautiful display, thank you. Yeah, it's a gorgeous color. Jennifer says she's definitely going to be making it. So, if you liked this, feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions. I'll get a close-up picture of the paint and put that in the comments. I will also put my creative days, a link to her blog post in the comments in case you want to go and look at her. She was the originator of this idea. I mean, I don't know if there was another crafter before her that did it, but she is the one that I looked at. And so this is just my spin, my idea of what I had seen her do. And I hope that you guys liked it and that you'll put your own spin on it, even if it's exactly the same, that you'll do this idea and make something pretty for Christmas. So do this or this. Say something to me in the comments. Check to make sure you have liked and followed this page. And a lot of people lately have been telling me that they're not getting notifications from Facebook anymore of when I'm going live. And several people thought I had removed them, which of course I haven't. I don't know, Facebook is always changing and it's a mystery to me. So all I can suggest in that instance is to get on Facebook and look at your settings and re-select the things that that you want to be notified for. It would be great with black and white. Oh my goodness, you're so right. And I had another idea. One of my followers, I wish I could remember who it was, but you guys, I read like 2,000 comments every day. So it kind of becomes a blur. One of my followers said, let's do this with Easter eggs this spring. And I was like, yes, absolutely. We'll make more jadeite. We'll make jadeite Easter eggs. Okay, this is spring green, indoor outdoor gloss, apple barrel, 97 cents. Mine came from Walmart, but you can get this brand everywhere. And this is just a placeholder. This is not part of the design. There'll be one more in the center, but it's drying right now. Yeah, if you came in towards the end, I'm about to be finished. And when I'm no longer live, you can watch on replay from the very start and get all the pertinent details. And this is a super, super, super simple craft project. Super simple. It just requires a paintbrush and some paint, basically. Oh, thank you. Somebody says they like my hair. I washed it this morning. Lots of you guys have pieces of jadeite. I am going to be on the lookout for that. I never see it at thrift stores. I do occasionally see milk glass, and I have some milk glass in my family room on this cabinet on the wall that I've collected. But I'm going to start looking like at my Queen of Hearts, Antique Mall, and other places for actual pieces of jadeite. Aw, thank you. You guys are so nice. Alrighty, I'll get pictures. I'll share that blog by My Creative Days. I'll take a picture of the paint and put that in the comments. And that's it. Okay, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. And if you are watching this live, I will be live again at 4 o'clock for my very first auction, which I'm kind of nervous about, but I'd love to have you join me for that too. Today, and it's going to be live, so if you watch it in the future, it will only actually be functioning and working as an auction live today at 4. Okay, bye.